let's go ahead and get started on our sky today. I made a real light, some phthalo blue and some white, mixed it up. Let me see what that looks like. Actually, I like it a little lighter than that. I like it kind of light behind my mountains. Let me try to wipe some of this off up in here. I have a little sketch, you probably can't even see it. It's kind of faded away. I'm just going to use a 1-inch brush for now. Just get next to my mountains. I like it really light back in here. I come up with a different kind of composition today, and that's why I finished a painting earlier, and I thought, well, let's just go ahead and do a mountain. Well, a painting with mountains in it. It's not necessarily what I would call a mountain painting. But that's what we're after. That's what we're going to do today. Let me take a little tiny dab of Prussian blue. I got a new jar. I got liquid white up here. I don't have any on my mountains. I got a little strip here, and I got some in the water. I got a little jar of liquid white, brand new. I don't know if I trust it or not, and I got it on here today. It's just real runny, man. It just don't seem right. I'm gonna take this 2-inch brush, and I'm just gonna kind of soften. I got a big tree right here. Kind of soften this up a little bit. Yeah, this liquid white, I can even see that it looks a little different than normal. I don't know, we're going to use it. I mean, it's on here, but I'll tell you after the painting if I like it or not. But I'm a little suspicious of it, to be quite honest. It just seems too runny. The last bottle I had wasn't like that. But it's blending, so maybe it's okay. Maybe it's, I don't know. It seemed a little weird to me. Yeah, let's see. That might be about all I want for a sky. There's hardly a sky there. Mountains go pretty high up. Let's take a look here. Got something on there. Yeah, like I said, there's a big tree right here. That's probably okay. That's probably okay right there. Well, let me get my knife. I made 2 different mountain collars. I want this mountain, or these 2, to sit back. I want this one in the front. This is Prussian blue, black, alizarin crimson. I took a little bit out of that, stuck it there, added some white, and this will be for my distant mountain. Because you want them, the further back something is, the lighter in color. So let's go ahead and start. I think I can see, it don't matter if I can see them or not, but I did put a few marks on here for us to follow in case we want to, but you don't have to. And for all the new people that are trying to do that paint at home, if you're having trouble getting your paint to break on your mountains, don't put liquid white on it. That'll fix it. That'll fix your problem right there. You'll be amazed. Let's bring this on down. But you do got to put a little bit more paint on these mountains if you don't use liquid white. And that's, to me, that's no big deal. Okay, let's get a brush. Let me find a brush. It really don't matter. This is, I think this is the one I just used in the sky. Let's go ahead and pull some of this out. I'm going to have a row of trees down in here also. This brush did have liquid white on it, so I'm getting some on here, and that's okay. That's okay. But if you're new to painting mountains and you're having trouble with your paint breaking, that's what the problem is. Just don't use liquid white on your mountains. Most of the time I don't, because I'm trying to show people. I think that might be close to being down far enough. I'll bring it down a little more. But it's real close to being enough right there. Okay, let me go ahead and do this one. We're going to use the darker color because it's up close, closer than these. And let's see, it's a pretty big one here. Pretty big mountain right here. Yeah, I might put another peak on here. Looks like I might need another one. Bring it out a little more. Yeah, you don't have to follow cut lines on here if you don't want to. You can just, I do it just because it's a little easier for me. I mean, you can just form them yourself. You don't have to have any type of lines or anything on here. I do it because it keeps me focused on what I'm doing. And you do want to scrape your paint off as much as you can. That's probably plenty. I'll just use the same brush I had a minute ago. Just pull it out. I think that's probably real close to being far enough. I'll bring it down a little more just to be sure. But I'm pretty sure that's good. Okay, let's get our knife. I went ahead and pre-mixed some colors. This far back mountain, I've got a couple different colors here. This is just brown and white, basically. This one I put a little bit of burnt sienna in. I was just testing it out. I think I like this pile better. So we're going to start right here. And we're going to start putting some, I put brown in it to dull the color down a little bit, because you don't want something real vibrant that's distant. We're just going to bring her on down, and yes, I am barely touching it, literally. Let's go ahead and start up in here. Yeah, you really do have to barely touch it. I mean, that's not a joke there. That's a fact. Literally barely touch it. Let's see, let's bring these two together a little bit. Let's see, let's bring this on down here. You just have to use your imagination. That's really what I'm doing here. You can see my stretcher bar right there. Ain't that something? Get these cheap canvases because I paint a lot. And boy, you get what you pay for. That ain't a joke. That is the truth. And a bit right right there. I think that might be good right there. Okay, I might use this other collar since I have it, and I won't waste it. I might stick it on this mountain. I got too big of a chunk there. Let's try this. This is a little lighter. This has a little burnt sienna in it. Wipe your knife off sometimes. You're going to pick up stuff. Stuff that you don't want. I don't really think I need to come down any further than that. Just keep wiping off your knife. Let's go ahead and do this one. Ooh, almost fell out of my hand. I'm holding it so light. I really am. I mean, I'm barely hanging on to this knife. I guess in my mind, if I barely hang on to it, it'll do better. I'm not sure that's true, but in my mind, maybe I'm thinking it's true. Let's see, we're going to bring these together here. And I will probably start making this one come over a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to have trees that'll probably be covering some of this bottom area. I think what I'm going to do now, see, there's definitely two different collars there for sure. I'm going to take some pure white. I'm going to skim. Let's see, should I do that first? Maybe I should put, I don't, you know what, let me do the shadow first. I don't think it'll hurt anything if I'd done that first, but just to be safe, make it easy on myself. I'm just going to take some white and mix in with this. Let's see what happens here. I think I got some chunks of something in there. Don't want that. Let's see, this maybe a little bit more. You just have to test it. I got chunks of something in there. Let's try this. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, that probably is okay. I got a little knife if I need it. And sometimes you do need it for these smaller areas. These smaller areas will give you fits sometimes. And you don't want to have a fit when you're doing a mountain. Stand back and take a look at that in a minute. Just bring it on down. Probably don't look too bad. Okay, let's do the other side. I think I might use the same color. See how this looks. Not too bad. Not too bad. Yeah, I figured I'd switch collars a little bit today and just do something a little different. I mean, you can definitely tell there's a difference. That has burnt sienna in it. This one does not. There's definitely a difference in color. And it's good. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, let me take some pure white. I'll clean my knife real good here first. Okay. Taking pure white. Let's just touch it up here. Just to give us a snow effect. Just to give it a snow effect. That's it. That's the only reason. Of course, you gotta be kind of careful doing this because there's a lot of paint on there right now. I think I'm gonna change this right here though. I'll bring this down a little more. Touch this right here a little bit. And maybe right here. I think that looks better. Maybe a little more white right here. You gotta stand back. See, I'm standing back and looking. All right, let's go ahead and do our water. And that way it'll look like we're making big progress. The water is, this is all water right here. This will make it look like we're really doing something. I'm gonna use this mountain color, I believe. It should be dark. Well, let me go ahead. Let's see what color. That's already kind of dark there, isn't it? Good thing I didn't add the real dark stuff. I don't know if I want it quite that dark up front. I'll have to, well, here's some, see, you can just look around your palette. Here's some lighter blue right here. I can take some of this white, throw in there. I should lighten it up a little. I just don't want quite that dark at the top. But we can work with it. I mean, it's not, there's nothing set in stone here. We can adjust our colors. And of course, as it comes down, it is going to get darker. I'll go ahead and start transitioning into darker color. And this is just mountain color I'm using. Leftover mountain color. Don't like to waste nothing. And it's good for this. I mean, there's nothing wrong with using it. Here's the real dark color. It's going to be real dark down in here. Hold my painting still. Yeah, this is real dark down in here. Real dark. I'm down here in the basement. I hear my wife upstairs. I think the cat's attacking her. I have a little 7-pound cat. She don't bother me at all, but boy, she lets my wife have it. And my wife's the one that feeds her. Cats are strange. They are very strange critters. Okay, for now, I think that's okay. Let's see how dark this is. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and put my land. There's a piece of land right here. And I'm going to go ahead and throw it in. Like I said, to make it look like we're getting all kinds of stuff done. Take care of the big stuff here first. Just throw some of that in. I do have somewhat of a picture that I'm looking at here today. I think I'm gonna go ahead and start putting some pine trees in maybe. Let me set that down, find me a nice brush. Still pretty early in the day, I still have brushes left. All right, let's go ahead and throw in some pine trees. I think there's some that are really big right here. I'm gonna go ahead and start with them. And I'm gonna make an imaginary line. They're gonna come probably, I got a picture that's right up there. Probably, I need to keep some land. Probably to right there. I'm using sap green and black. These background trees are pretty tall here, pretty big. As a matter of fact, they come clear over, actually they come way over here. This brush, I may have to switch brushes. This brush here is almost wore out. And since we didn't put nothing down here, we got to make sure these trees cover this white canvas back here. They got to be close enough together. And they are in the picture too, they're close. But they gotta be close enough together where you hide this canvas. You hide things that you don't want to be seen, basically. Is that cheating? No. It's not, that's just how it is. That's how it works. Okay, this area here, I'm gonna bring this one way up. I got a big monster tree right here. It's actually gonna sit on that. Okay, so far so good. And this one here, this might be my last one over here. This tree here might cover these. This big tree very easily could, because it's a big tree. So I'll make this my last one right here. That's it for that one. Remember, we're just using black and sap green. And we're going to come right here, drop one in. Make sure you cover the white canvas. Right here. I mean, you can have a little bit sticking through. I mean, that's not even noticeable. It is noticeable, but nobody knows what it is. It looks like this background stuff. But you don't want to leave a big chunk exposed. Let's see, before we go any further, we got 3 big ones right here. Some of these trees are not as big as others. Got one here. couple smaller ones next to it. 1, 2. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and finish these out, and I'll be right back. All right, before I go much further, I'm just putting my reflections in the water. That's all I'm doing. I just wanted to show you. You're just basically doing everything upside down, and it doesn't have to be perfect. These are reflections. And yes, it is hard to paint upside down. I'll go ahead and tell you. I'm throwing this in here because I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to paint this evening, and I don't want this to dry. So I want to get this done. I'll do that land later. It's not that big of a deal. But I want to go ahead and finish these trees out. I got to put highlights on these trees so I can put highlights down here. Or I could just put highlights because I know I'm putting them up there. Either way, but I just want to show you what you, and these, like I said, this does not have to be perfect. These are reflections. If they were perfect, they wouldn't be reflections. And you're basically painting upside down. You're just reversing. And I think them trees are close enough we can put them in the water. They're sitting back a little bit, but I think it's okay. It's your call. It's your judgment. If you're painting it, it's completely up to you. I want to get some black. I'm just going to finish this out, and that's all I'm doing. I might brighten these trees up a little bit, and I probably will, and maybe start hitting the reflections or hitting the highlights. Put some highlights here so we can go ahead and finish this water area this evening. But I'll be back. Okay, before I go any further, I went ahead, I just put some black here for my reflections later. I threw my tree, and I told you it's going to be a big tree. I'm going to go ahead and start putting some reflections on these pine trees right here. This tree really don't, highlights, excuse me. This tree really don't get any highlights because it's not in, this side of the tree is not in the sun. So I'm going to take some yellow, and I'm going to start right here. And the sun is coming down this way. And I am barely going to touch this tree on the right-hand side to show where the sun is hitting. There's probably a little bit of a highlight coming through right there. Probably down in here too, because this tree is forward compared to the rest of them. And this is how I do highlights if you've never seen one of my videos before, because I think it looks good. Oops, a little too much here. And you can also tell what tree is in front of which by doing it this way also. Because they blend, the trees blend together a lot of times. You can make one tree sit back a little further than the next, if you choose to, if that's what you want to do. Let's start on this one. And you have to keep wiping your brush off, because as you know, we just put these trees in and they are very, very wet. So let's just start here on this one now. We'll say this one comes all the way down. This one's kind of missing a little bit, and we're going to do that on purpose. And that one too. Give me another paper towel. You don't want to run your yellow down on each and every tree, because one tree can be blocking another one. You want it to look as realistic as possible. And we're just going to keep going. Wipe your brush off. I'll do a few more on camera for you, and then I'll finish these out so you don't get too bored. Yeah, that's probably okay there. Yeah, I don't want you to get bored watching this, because this could get boring. One more. This is my last one. I'll do it off camera. Okay, I'm going to finish this row out right here, and I'll be back. All right, let's go ahead and finish out this land right here. I'm going to take some cad yellow light, and I'm going to smear it up to the top. And I'm going to take my 1-inch brush, if it'll fit. This is a pretty narrow little strip. See, this tree is forward, so sunlight is still hitting this area back here. And I'm going to try, take some ochre, throw some ochre in there. I may not even need my 1-inch brush. I may not have room for it in here. I may have to use this. Let's take some green. Oh, I got a big old chunk of green there. That's okay. Yeah, I may just have to use this brush. But I'll take a fan brush anyways and go over this. I'm just trying to blend these colors together real good. Really, this is all this amounts to is blending. So I have a nice variety of colors. Yeah, I'll take a small fan brush here in a minute and go over this. As soon as I get this down. A lot of you have seen me do this before. That's the way I like to do it. This is kind of out of order. Normally you would do this first, but I was trying to hurry. You can do things out of order as long as you know how to fix it. That's really the thing. You have to know how to fix the problem if you make one. Let's see, for this down in here, I'll just take a variety of colors and mix it up. See, this should have been put in for the tree. But that's okay. Like I said, I'm just trying to hurry. Take some Prussian blue. I may even take some alizarin crimson. It's kind of reddish. Red is a foreground color. Just mix it all up. All kinds of different stuff. And let's just mix this up a little bit, and I'll get me a fan brush out here in a second. I may have to take a paper towel and wipe some of this off. Yeah, I'm running out of time this evening. I'm in one of them rushing moods. You know how it gets. Okay. Okay, now let's take our fan brush. Now I think we're ready. I'm going to take some cad yellow light, and I'm going to start right up in here, and I'm just going to start jabbing at it here. And you can get up in the trees. That's really what you should do. Makes it look more natural. Let's wipe this off a little. Let's get some more cad yellow light. That's one reason I'm just using pure cad yellow, because it's going to get up in the trees and it's going to mix and get all dirty. And that's okay. Makes it look more natural that way. But you gotta keep wiping your brush off. Keep reloading. Cat yellow light. Wipe your brush. Now we can probably throw in a little green maybe. Wow, this has some, I must have stuck my brush in some alizarin crimson. Try to get some of that off. Actually, it's in my green now, see? It's okay, but I wasn't really planning on that. Some of them unplanned surprises, if you know what I mean. Running out of cad yellow light. Now I just stuck my brush in some Prussian blue by accident, and that's okay. Okay, let's see what we can do here. This color ain't too bad for this. It needs to be a little darker than that anyway. Let's see if I can get some right here. I may want to go ahead and hit these reflections before I go much further with this. Alright, let's see what we can do with the reflections. Get me a paper towel and a very cleanest brush I can find, if there is such a thing. Alright, let's pull down on them first. This has a lot of paint on here. So we want to wipe our brush off after every stroke. So I'm actually holding the paper towels. That's the easiest way to do it. Just hold them in your hand. I hope that's enough. Sometimes you gotta almost do it twice because there's so much paint that's built up on there. Let's see what we can do here. You notice I'm wiping this off every time. That don't look too bad. If I had a newer brush, it would look a little better. But it's perfectly fine. Let's get this area right here. We just want that dark mainly. Okay, I think that looks okay right there. I really almost don't need one, but I think I will. Somewhat of a waterline. I got some, my collars are all mixed up. Get a smaller knife. Okay. Well, folks, that looks like a wrap. I put a few more trees right here and threw in a stump because I thought it needed one. Hey guys, don't forget to like and subscribe for more future videos. Thanks for watching.